and we're here once again for our Wichita Postcard of the Week. I wanted to try something a little bit different today. We're close to Thanksgiving, and I want to just say a few words about greeting postcards. Greeting postcards are a big uh, part of postcard collecting. And people will say, well, I collect greetings or I collect views. And views would be like your hometown or your home state or where you like to go on your vacation, that sort of thing. But the greetings are a whole nother category, and there are lots of fun, lots of variety, different artists, different time periods, a great way of collecting and looking at different things. Let me just tell you about greeting cards. There's the Christmas, probably the most popular, New Year's, some for Halloween, Valentine's Day, Easter, uh, the anniversaries and birthdays, sympathy cards. Sometimes sympathy cards were sent and they'll have a black border around the edge. The same could have been said for mail that you might send to somebody in sympathy of the loss of a family member or a friend or something. That too, the envelope may have been black bordered in the old days. And by that, I mean like 1910, 1920, World War One time, and so forth. But there's two greeting cards, or there's two categories that are the hardest, the most difficult to find, and that is Labor Day, which falls on the first Monday of September, and also the other tough greeting is to find is the Groundhog Day in early February the 2nd. Those two are the most difficult to find, and you can talk to dealers or you can go through shoe boxes. You can visit with other collectors, and then you might just casually say, well, what do you have for Labor Day? Or what about Groundhog Day? And it's fun to see reactions, and sometimes they smile and they'll show you one or two, and that's neat. The Labor Day cards can also show up as parades in especially larger cities where they had a big working population, like in factories and so forth. And there would have been the early days of unionism and joining and being a part of a group, a work group, and so forth. But in any case, that's part of Labor Day, and that's part of the celebration of it, especially in larger cities. Thanksgiving, which we're coming up on just in a few days, that also is a greeting card category. Lots of turkeys, lots of chickens, farmyard action, and so forth. And I used to have a friend in Oklahoma, and she collected turkeys, and it was always easy to find maybe four or five or a dozen to take to her when I went to see her, and she would be pleased to see more turkeys for her collection. The card that I'm going to show today is a Thanksgiving card, but it's made even more choice or harder to find, rare and so forth, in that it's also a suffrage, a woman's suffrage or a votes for women postcard. It shows two turkeys, the one boy turkey with all of his feathers and everything, and it looks like he's being lectured to by a female turkey, kind of on the fence and looking down on the boy turkey, and she's saying, this is not a suffragette lecture, just a kind of greeting, Thanksgiving Day greeting. And you can see that in the card. Very subtle, but something that somebody probably did a lot of picking out and choosing and deciding who that right person would be to be the lucky one to receive this card. It's a tough card to find, and women's votes for women and all of that. It's a Thanksgiving greeting card with turkeys, and it's also a votes for women card. We're in the process of celebrating the anniversary of the constitutional amendment that gave the women everywhere in the United States the right to vote. And so there's a lot of increased interest right now in looking back at women's suffrage collections, the buttons, the ribbons, the posters and banners, parade things, all a part of this Votes for Women movement that took several years and so many states to ratify this state by state by state before they could present this to Congress and get an amendment to the Constitution, giving women the right to vote. Well, that's it for today, and appreciate you coming and stopping by. This is still in the COVID crisis, and lots of family and friends are sick and being quarantined. It's a rotten time, but let's make the most of it, and happy Thanksgiving to all of you. Bye bye. See you next time.